Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Michael Fillios, founder and CEO of IT Ally and a CDO editorial board member. And we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT, CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Nick Sims, Divisional CIO, Neuromodulation at Abbott. Nick, welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Either within Abbott or just in your general experience, what kinds of abilities or aptitudes do you look for in your teammates and developing talent that may or may not be technical in nature or what have you, but curious to get your thoughts on that as well.
I tend to lean on talent development internally versus externally, unless there's a specific skill that we need externally. So start there, and then really particular abilities. I like problem solvers, and I like people that are passionate. Technical skills can be learned. There are many. When you look at a sort of a new role or a replacement for a role, you typically, in my experience, don't have a whole lot of challenges with finding technical people. Right, that may have project management or may have business analyst related skills or architect, if you will. It's the other aspects of that role, right? Communication, problem solving, how they get the job done and how they accomplish those things and working with the team that are tougher to solve for, right? So, usually my questions, revolve around those types of things. And if I can see folks that are strong problem solvers and or passionate, you can actually see that passion just flowing over. I tend to anchor on those things.
Yeah, I can relate certainly to some of that, especially having been a divisional CIO myself. I would often talk about influencing skills because lots of times you don't have all the army of people and staff in your BU, but you need to be very influential in terms of shaping that agenda and driving it home. So it's some of the soft skills, I think, is what you're referring to here, that almost are equally, if not more important.
Definitely. I agree. Yes.
So let's go the other spectrum when I'm sure you've been informally or formally have mentored or helped to advise younger professionals in their career. If you were a student who's maybe thinking about, working in healthcare IT or maybe looking to pursue a career in data analytics, what advice would you share with them or share with your own self 20 years ago that might help you, be more prepared for this environment we're in today?
My best advice that I'm giving right now to folks that I'm mentoring, even folks that are on my staff, is you don't have to wait to acquire knowledge. We live in a time and a space where you can level up on your own without the need of some course or some experience, right? So go after it and level up in some way on your own. The second thing is to have the desire and to take baby steps basically toward what it is that you want to do, right? I think I've had some of my team and some folks that I'm mentoring ask me about the career path to get to this role. How do I attain this? And they ask in a way like there's a definitive path that I just need to provide them, and we all know. That there is no straight line path to some of the roles that you actually want to get to. It's very matrix. There could be layoffs. There could be all sorts of things that come into your career. You may have to be an entrepreneur and then come right back around in order for you to actually be that CIO role. So, but to take baby steps and to take it one step at a time and seek the help and the guidance that you need. And just be ready for change, be ready for pivot, but just take the next step, right? Don't stay stagnant. And the last piece of advice is to read. There is a ton content out there. I think is maybe similar to my first suggestion, which is go seek, information and get the information for yourself. But there's a lot of content, in books and other information that has been made available to us for very inexpensive um, learning. So read often. I think it'll help in career pursuits.
That's great advice. I know what you're describing there is sort of being a constant learner, which is something that we hear often, and especially in those of us that are in a technology field, that constant learning is continuous. So, but that's also part of the fun. Um, I guess, has there been anyone in your life, Nick, that has influenced you, or been someone in your life that has played a role in your success that you'd like to mention here or talk about?
Yeah, I'm gonna mention one person, and I was thinking about him today, and I need to reach out to him, call him up, and tell him thank you.
Hmm.
I'm going to mention Phil McCoy. Phil was a leader in the retail space where I was back in Minnesota. He's actually still in Minnesota. He's currently the CIO over Optum for
Mhm.
United Health Group. And when I moved over to Abbott Laboratories, I'm thinking, man, I need to catch up with Phil because one, just an amazing leader that brought teams and people together. Um, he's a leader that really understood business more broadly, but actually how to apply technology in a way that truly aligned and solved business problems. He understood technology's role as a support organization, but as well as his value for looking across the entire business and actually having a perspective that sometimes only certain aspects of our business have a perspective like that. Think finance, right? And then think legal, where we actually get to see across the entire organization. And Phil was able to navigate that. And now that we're both in healthcare, I need to catch back up with Phil and maybe grab a couple more nuggets from his experience. But I would mention Phil McCoy. He's an amazing leader, highly accomplished, and I continue to look forward to see where he's going in his career.
Awesome. That sounds like a great contact for you to have, and someone that's made an impact for you. Nick, I've covered all the questions I wanted to. I guess, is there anything else you'd like to add to the conversation that you think might be relevant or useful for the audience?
Let me just add this. Um, just today, I had an opportunity to speak with uh, Dr. Michael Goldsmith. Are you familiar with Dr. Goldsmith?
Sounds familiar to me, but maybe you can refresh me and the
Uh,
audience's knowledge.
he, he's written many books. He's one of
Mhm,
our most influential executive coaches in
mhm,
the world. One of his most famous books is "What Got You Here Won't Get You There,"
mhm,
or may not get you there. He really just spoke really about leadership, and he spoke about leadership in a way uh, that not only is applicable for your careers, but also applicable for your life. And
mhm,
one of the things he mentioned was that if you were your imagine yourself as your 95-year-old self,
mhm,
what things would you tell yourself today that would be applicable for you to do now?
mhm.
And it was very interesting to hear that perspective, and it made me think about what would I tell myself and what would I do differently today, having had that interview with my 95-year-old self. So I would leave that with the team. All right, have an interview with your 95-year-old self,
Sure.
and make changes that you would do differently today, not only in your personal life, but also for your business. Basically, go after it and
Mhm.
do those things.
Well, I think that's a great place to end our conversation for today. Nick, thank you so much for joining me. And to learn more about CDO Magazine or to view more interviews, please visit cdomagazine.tech. Thank you.
Thank you.